Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Singer, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of FleetWorks. I got my start in logistics about 7 years ago when I joined Uber Freight back on the brokerage floor, but I ultimately grew to build products that touch the lives of over 1 million active CDL drivers across the US. Now, it's no secret that brokering freight is organized chaos. When you guys sent your team in this morning, you expected them to make and receive over 100 phone calls per day to carriers. But at the same time, those same people are responsible for blocking and tackling hundreds of emails from carriers with truck lists, with questions about posted loads, and probably with issues on live freight that's already in transit. That is a lot for one person to take on. And the problem is that one person can really only do one thing at a time. And so what does that mean for your business? That means every single day, your brokers are giving up $50 on a load just because there's too much going on, because there's too many phone calls, too many emails. And even worse, let's say you have too much to do and you don't have time for proper vetting. Let's say you just let one carrier slide. That one carrier, that could result in double brokering or could result in even theft. And so that's why we've built FleetWorks. So I want you guys to meet Felice and Fred. They're gonna be your AI carrier sales reps. Felice and Fred can talk to carriers wherever they prefer to book, whether that's phone, email, text message, WhatsApp, or Google Chat. Today I'm gonna show you phone and email. But they're gonna help you do two things really reliably and help your team book freight predictably with carriers that always pass your compliance scores and always book freight more profitably than a human can book just by themselves. Now, I could run a call for you live, but let's actually just listen to Fred talk to one of the carriers that called one of our customers, Capstone Logistics, last Friday. On this call, you're gonna hear Fred vet the carrier's phone number and MC to make sure they're legitimate and to make sure they're onboarded with Capstone. Then we're gonna go into selling the details of the load, the most boring part where humans are just reading information off of a TMS. And then finally, we'll negotiate, in this case, probably better than a human would have. Ultimately, Fred actually reached into Capstone's TMS, assigned the carrier to the load, and the load is currently in transit as we speak with no issues so far. So let's give this call a listen.
Yeah.
So already a whole bunch of things have happened. We've instantly vetted the carrier, but the carrier couldn't find the reference number, so they asked about the lane. Capstone has a bunch of loads on this lane, and we've already narrowed it down to the load that we think the carrier is actually talking about. Now comes the really boring part where we're just gonna describe the load to the carrier and make sure it's a good fit. We're checking.
How much?
So for the brokers in the crowd, how many people you think would just give this load at 17 since it's already profitable? I'm seeing no hands raised. Okay, reasonable. Let's meet the carrier in the middle. So right now we're checking our proprietary negotiation logic for Capstone on this lane to see if we should be actually quoting at $16.50 or trying to get this a little bit lower. Let's see what happens.
My manager approved $16.30. Does that work for you? When and where will you be available to talk about?
Cool. We'll pause it here. So in this case, we likely made on this call alone, we made Capstone $20 in gross margin, let alone all the human time spent as part of this call. Now, no human ever got involved throughout this process. Never in vetting, never in load detail sharing, and never in negotiation. But that's not all that we can do. Our AI is also booking carriers over email. Let's just have a quick conversation with our AI over email. So here you can see we've got a thread. I said, hey, here's my MC. Are we good? Is this load still available? Dallas to Missouri City. Here our AI responds saying, okay, here's the load details. What can you do? Let's say, need 300. Can it deliver earlier? So now we're doing a couple things in the background, and we should see a response within the next 10 or 15 seconds. So first, we're again checking our custom negotiation logic to check, is 300 the right price for this load just at the right time? But we're also doing something pretty interesting. We've partnered with Capstone to build out micro knowledge bases on all of their warehouses. And so Capstone has told us that this warehouse has some appointment flexibility, and it can actually deliver earlier, that this warehouse is known to work carriers in. So let's see, the AI should be responding soon, and the carrier will find out some more information. There we go. Yep, warehouse is pretty good at fitting people in. They open at 8 a.m., but we need 275 on this one. So here, back and forth, and the carrier can say, cool, I agree, or I don't. Here are some of the dollar impacts that your team is going to see once you operationalize FleetWorks. You can always visit us at fleetworks.ai or find me. I'm wearing the bright yellow vest. Impossible to miss me. Thank you.